Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Wray, I am in violent agreement with the statements you made after this report was published, that nothing in the report impugns the patriotic work of the FBI employees who are serving in my district and around the world, and this mess in Washington has nothing to do with them, and I want to make that very clear, and I appreciate your statements on that subject. Deputy Director, the Democratic memo that the President declassified says the Department of Justice accurately informed the court that the FBI initiated its counterintelligence investigation on July 31st, 2016. Did any investigative activity regarding the Trump campaign in Russia occur before July 31st, 2016?
Congressman, as you know, we're dealing with the Intelligence Committee on that issue, and Chairman Nunes met with Director Wray and me. I received the same briefing that he received. So I don't know any additional information beyond what he knows about that, and I'm not able to produce any information beyond what the FBI has told me. So,
are you aware, as you sit here today, of any payments that were made to any person to collect intelligence on the Trump campaign prior to July 31st, 2016?
No, but keep in mind I wasn't there. I only know what information that we've obtained from the FBI records.
Are you, as you sit here today, aware of any efforts to contact Roger Stone that occurred prior to July 31st, 2016?
I don't have any personal knowledge, Congressman, but I know that we are seeking to respond to Chairman Nunes' request. I think one thing you need to understand...
Same question as it regards to Michael Caputo.
I wasn't there, and so I can only answer questions that we direct to the FBI and then have them search.
You're there now, right? I mean, have you asked these questions of anyone?
We have absolutely conveyed all the questions that Chairman Nunes has raised, and I'm optimistic that we'll be able to respond to him fairly soon.
You could understand why it would be of tremendous importance to the country that if the Department of Justice has represented to a court that this investigation began on July 31st, and if the fact that you cannot tell me definitively that before July 31st there was not intelligence collected on the Trump campaign, that is something of great interest to us.
Congressman, I think you should understand that there is nobody more committed to rooting out abuse and misconduct than I. We talk with the FBI, we take those allegations seriously, and we look to find any credible evidence. If we find it, we're going to produce it to Chairman Nunes.
Thank you. Let's do that quickly, and let's get into your determination to find out that activity which is occurring in your department. At the last hearing we had, I asked you when you first became aware that Nellie Orr, the wife of your Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr, was working for Fusion GPS and was actively assigned to the dossier that said all these nasty things about President Trump. As you sit here today, do you know when you became first aware of that?
I believe it would have been sometime in the fall of 2017. As I think I told you last time, Mr. Orr was never working, to my knowledge, on that Russia investigation.
Well, his wife was, right? I mean, like, right. He's your assistant or your associate deputy attorney general, and his wife gets hired for that. I asked you this question on the 13th of December. I wrote you a letter on the 18th of December, 9 months ago. You have not responded to it. We need a date when you found out that the wife of your deputy was working for people who are actively trying to undermine President Trump. Don't you think that's a really important date for you to know about the spouse of your own Associate Deputy Attorney General?
Yes, I think it's important for you to understand, Congressman, Mr. Orr is a career employee of the department. He was there when I arrived. To my knowledge, he wasn't working on the Russia matter.
I don't care if he's there 100
Well, I think it's important for you to know, sir, that when we learned the relevant information, we arranged to transfer Mr. Orr to a different office.
Let's get to
in addition to that,
hold on, I'm sorry, I got to reclaim my time, Mr. Rosenstein. The FISA renewal that you signed, list for me the people who briefed you on the substance of that FISA renewal to go and spy on people.
So, Mr. Gaetz, here's one thing I think is important for you to understand. People can make all kinds of allegations publicly. I am quite confident about my conduct throughout this investigation. That matter is under review by the Inspector General. We'll see what the Inspector General finds.
Did you read the FISA application before you signed it?
I'm not going to comment about any FISA application.
So you won't say to this committee whether or not you even read the document you signed that authorized spying on people associated with the Trump campaign?
Well, I dispute your characterization of what that FISA is about, sir.
Did you read it or did you not read it?
I'll be happy to review. I'll be happy to discuss the details with you. But as I told you, sir.
Did Peter Strzok brief you on it?
No.
Did Lisa Page brief you on it?
No.
Did Sally Moyer brief you on it?
Now, let me explain the process, if I may.
Well, did Tricia Anderson brief you on it?
No FBI personnel briefed me on it. The process, sir, is that these FISA applications and renewals first come up through the FBI chain of command. They are sworn under oath by a career federal agent. I'm not the affiant.
But you signed it.
Well, I'll explain the process to you.
Did you thoroughly review it, yes or
I
no?
want to explain the process to you.
I'm out of time. Did you thoroughly review
The
it?
time of the gentleman has
I'd
expired.
like
The
to
witness
explain
will be
the process.
permitted to answer the question.
I'd like to explain the process. Director Ray can explain it too, sir. My responsibility at that time was to approve the filing of FISA applications because only 3 people in the department are authorized to be the final sign-off, the Attorney General, the Deputy, and the Assistant Attorney General for National Security, who at the time that position was vacant. So it was my responsibility to do that. I have fortunately been relieved of that responsibility. Director Ray still does it every day. And I don't know exactly what his process is, sir, but we sit down with a team of attorneys from the Department of Justice, all of whom review that, provide a briefing for us about what's in it. And, sir, I've reviewed that one in some detail. And I can tell you, sir, that the information that's public about that doesn't match with my understanding of the one that I signed. But I think it's appropriate to let the Inspector General complete that investigation. These are serious allegations. I don't do the investigation. I'm not the affiant. I'm reviewing the finished product, sir.
Are they investigating you?
If the Inspector General finds that I did something wrong, then I'll respect that judgment. But I think it's highly, highly unlikely, sir, given the way the process works.